Anyhow, so if you knew that, then you understand what's going to happen. And guess what? In the millennium, when God changed the sun and the moon back, when he stopped everybody from eating meat again, you will, friend. He's going to stop it. When he stopped the animal kingdom from eating each other, and they're going to go back to eating grass and roots and berries like God created them to do, guess what? Everybody's going to live hundreds of years again. Some people are going to live the entire 1,000 years because they're coming from this period and they're just going to go into here and they're not going to die. So, what am I saying? What I'm telling you is the troubles that you and I face today are coming from the sins that have already taken place and the sins that you and I are currently doing. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Nothing. All right. So you need to understand this is what's going on. And this is a plan from God. All right. So when we come here, let's wrap up with Israel, and then we're going to dive deep and back into the tribulation again. So there's a priesthood. There will be an earthly priesthood. And you see what God says here. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my commandments, speaking of Israel, keep my covenant, then you shall be, listen, God says Israel is going to be a special treasure to me, God, above all people. For all the earth is mine. Who does the earth belong to? God. Can he do what he wants? Of course he can. Why? Because it belongs to him. And you shall be to me, listen, Israel, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. You see that? That's God's original intent for every single Israelite. To make money? No. To show the world how God can bless? No. No. The entire nation, was the intent, and they will be in the future, a kingdom of priests that reflects and point to God's holiness. And guess what? They're not that. They have never been that. But that's what God said. And that's what he meant. And eventually, in the end, in the eternity, future, that's what they're going to be. Now, what will it take to get them there? Great tribulation. So why? Because they're in total rebellion against the holy God who chose them above all nations. Let me show you. This isn't some secret okay, if you recognize what God says concerning this people. So let's go look at it in the scriptures. What did God say about these people? All right. So we come back here and we see in Deuteronomy chapter 7, look at what God says concerning Israel. Now, and you're going to ask me, well, why did God choose Israel and not some other nation? Friend, I'm going to let God speak for himself because he tells us exactly why he did it. For Israel, the nation, not the individual, okay? Israel, the nation, are a holy people to the Lord your God. The Lord your God did what? Who did this? Did Israel in any way influence God to choose them? Not according to the book. Has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure Keep in mind this word. Listen, God said, above all the peoples on the face of the earth. So who said that? God said that. Did Israel say that? No. So why are people going around fussing at the Jews, hating on the Jews for something they didn't even say? They didn't say that. Who said it? God said that. So if you are upset that the Jews are going around claiming and just quoting what God said, then you're upset with the wrong person or the wrong people. You shouldn't be upset with them. All they're doing is exactly what I just did. Quoted the book. Who should you be upset with? The God who said he created the earth and that is his. You should be upset with God. The Lord. Now, here is the reason why God chose Israel. He tells us himself. Was it because Israel was special? Was it because, they're smart people, whatever? The Lord did not set his love on you, nor did he choose you because you were more in number than any other people. For you were the least of all people. Were they the smartest? Nope. Were they more numerous than everybody else? No. But why, God? Why did you choose them? Because the Lord determined on his own to love you. That's it. I did it because that's what I chose to do. And because he would keep the oath. So the first thing he did, God determined to set his love on those people just because he wanted to. To confirm that that's the first thing he did, he loved them. What did he do? He made an oath with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on his own. The Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand, redeemed you from the house of bondage and from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Now you say, well, I got a tough time with that. Well, you're going to have a tougher time with what I'm about to show you because he gets really, really deep into this stuff, right? When it comes to Israel, look at what he says here. You think that was bad? Okay, so he was just saying that I brought up Israel out of Egypt. I chose them. They're my special treasure. Here, this is Amos chapter 3. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I, God, brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, listen to God, will you? You, Israel, only have I known of all the families of the earth. Wait a minute. Are you saying that Israel is the only nation and people God knows? No, I didn't say that. God said that. And maybe not the way that you're thinking. Did God know the Egyptians? Of course he knew the Egyptians. Did he know the Persians? Yes, he knew the Persians. He knew the Syrians. He knows the Americans. He knows the Russians. He knows all that stuff. What is he saying about I have known? What he's saying is you are the only ones that I've chose to make my statutes and covenants and bring my seed through. You're the only nation that I've revealed my word to through my revelation. Paul gave a list of the things that God did through Israel over in Romans chapter 9. You can go read the list yourself. That's what God is talking about. Not that he didn't know about other people. Of course he knew about them. He created them. So you see what he's talking about here? Israel is his treasure. Why? So that God can reveal himself to all the world. How is he going to do that? He's going to do it through priesthood. Priesthood of Israel on the earth, just like he said. He's going to make them a kingdom of priests. Are they a kingdom of priests today? Of course not, friend. They are far from a kingdom of priests today. Not priests to God. They may be a priest to themselves and a priest to the devil, but they're not a priest to God. They will be, though. And that's what the tribulation is all about. Bringing Israel back to being the nation I'm talking about. The priests, the kingdom of priests that God created them to be. And they will, friend, in the future. All right. Now, let's go back. Let's pick up here where we were. So we see that these two represent the Lord's two witnesses to the nations of the earth in his heavenly creatures. That is, the church to the angels, Israel to the people of the earth. This has always been God's plan to reveal his attributes, reveal his reconciliation plan. So these are the three things that God is doing. One, he's revealing attributes. Two, he's revealing his plan to redeem creation back to himself because he had to show his attributes. In order to show his attributes, he had to allow, not create, allow sin and allow evil. He had no choice. Ultimately, to reveal the Redeemer through whom he would do these two things. So ultimately, what was God doing? The Redeemer. It's all about Christ. So we've seen thus, and I showed you, you got this, and you're going to see the witness. You're going to go read Isaiah chapters 49 through 54. It tells you all about what God is doing in Israel. He sort of actually took it, condensed it down into these 6 chapters or 5 chapters right here. And he tells you all about Israel in Isaiah chapter 49 through 54. And then it's about Israel again, Israel's king, in Matthew chapter 1 through chapter 12. Now, God called Israel what? His treasure. I want to show you something. And this is going to help you and explain to you what one of the parables is in the book of Matthew chapter 13. Let's go look at that right quick. And let's see how we can plug that in and make sense of this parable. Matthew chapter 13. Now, you know, Matthew chapter 13 has 7 parables, and these parables were given actually to show us how the creation from that point was going to play out.